So Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in a really weird spot right now. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So I actually wanted to talk about the YCS this weekend. Some of the opinions I'm hearing on this game right now and how it's in a weird place, man. Like Zoink Scoob. And yeah, just kind of the general environment right now. So, to start things off here, make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button. So, this weekend is YCS Orlando. There's going to be a lot of eyes on the Mitsurugi Ryzel deck right now. And a lot of people are hoping that this YCS is going to actually... People want Mitsurugi to fail right now because they want to watch the prices on the Mitsurugi stuff crash down. Because there's no reason for these cards... There's no reason for this ritual spell to be above $10. I think most people kind of agree out here that the Mitsurugi core itself should have been really, really cheap. But, you know, it is what it is. The problem with Supreme Darkness was prices had to offset. That's why everything kind of went to the ultra value across the board out here. You know, you saw those ultras spiking up in price. You know, you got Aether Barrel out here hitting, you know, $30+. Now, you got the Mitsurugi spell, which has been above 20, you know, for its entire life, now above $30 out here. So I can understand why people want to see this stuff kind of crumble, okay? Now, Molcharmy Meows has also been kind of spiking up out here. I don't know why you're surprised about this one either, when Alliance Insight data just dropped, all right? There's so many deck lists using Meows. I don't know why this was such a big surprise to anybody. I think that's why maybe people are like, oh my gosh, Yu-Gi-Oh's in such a weird place right now because, you know, certain hand traps are not having the same reflective ability that they were in the past. Yeah, hand traps fall in and out of the format. If you do not actively believe that certain hand traps are better than other formats, are you even playing this game? Like, do you understand? Like, there's a reason why we're not main decking DD Crows in this format, because it's not in circulation. There's no reason to be playing DD Crows right now. Hand traps do rotate in and out. Same thing with board breakers. I cannot believe that that's an actual discussion that we have to have out here with the Yu-Gi-Oh's in a weird spot, man, because certain hand traps are not in flavor. Yeah, I mean, sure, but that's a part of the game. The game is a revolving, adapting creature. So, all eyes are on the YCS this weekend because certain cards, certain hype, certain expectations in the meta right now are kind of at an all-time high. We've got a lot of people that... this has actually been an interesting discussion because I was reading this earlier today. People were talking about, you know, Malice is supposed to be the more fun deck to play. You know, if you're playing Malice, you know, you get to play a lot more interactions, you have a higher skill tree, but Ryzel is more boring to play. Now, actually, this is the funny part. So the inverse of playing against the deck holds true here. You have Ryzel, which is actually really fun to play against. I love being able to find the choke points, see if your opponent just has more gas than you, and you're just like, oh, yeah, you're better than me. And that's fine, but actually playing against Malice feels pretty miserable, actually. And that's something that a lot of people don't really... I've heard a few discussion points about it. It was actually brought up on my Discord server recently. They were talking about, you know, it's actually a lot more fun to play against Ryzel than it is Malice. And that's because Malice is just, if your opponent has the board and the regurgitation to push out, it's just so frustrating out here to deal with this whole build-a-board situation and all of the craziness that comes with it. So this weekend, you know, we're going to be seeing the battle of Malice versus Ryzel. And the problem here is Ryzel has 3 decks in its camp right now. You got the Mitsurugi, you got the Pure, and you got the Fiendsmith. I know a lot of people have very strong opinions against Pure Ryzel. Like, oh, just give your opponent the free win if you're choosing to play that. That's fine. But certain people don't like playing the Fiendsmith cards. Certain people don't like the Mitsurugi stuff. The Mitsurugi stuff can feel like it can brick sometimes. It happens. You have to understand that if you're choosing to play these decks, you're gonna have some issues, all right? And people seem to think that these decks are turn off your brains, build a board. But, you have piss poor hands. You have really hard boards to play through. Your opponent opened up 3 hand traps, and they expect this to be like a seamless transitional thing. And they're like, oh, you just build your board and your deck's ignorant. Well, my opponent had 3 hand traps. I didn't make shit. Then my opponent 1 card comboed me. Like, I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's why I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Might feel a little bit weird right now. Zoinks! To some people, because the top deck, actually, you have to work for things. Sometimes, if your opponent doesn't have an interruption, you're playing Rise. Oh, it feels so good. The duo drives resolving. You got all that craziness going about. Yeah, it really feels good. All right, so what else are we expecting out of this weekend's YCS? I'm not expecting much, if you want my honest opinion. I'm expecting Rizal to probably take down the event, some combination of the 3 builds. It's probably going to be Fiendsmith, because Fiendsmith has been pushing out very early, good, strong results. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they want, Mitsurugi to be the best build over there in the corner. And that's fine. I'm kind of questioning the consistency of the Mitsurugi deck for a potential 14 rounds out here, and that's a little bit worrisome. You gotta think about consistency out here too. And I'm sure, we can break the mold out here, but I've seen a few of these Mitsurugi builds rolling up to tournaments, and very similar builds to some of these regional lists that we've been seeing. And I'm seeing brick houses on brick houses in 4-round events. So that's a thing. Well, Robbie, just shuffle better. Yeah, let me get right on that, man. Let me just psychically use my powers to, always get it. That's not how that works, man. Variance is always going to be a strong thing. All right. And the other thing here with, on the topic of the YCS and Yu-Gi-Oh! Being in a weird place right now, it's because we don't have Blue Eyes yet. Your Blue Eyes deck drops in 2 weeks, I believe, at this stage. Blue Eyes is going to be a major deciding factor of this meta. Blue Eyes stacks him up really, really well as a rogue challenger and actually is meant to, kind of equalize and try to make the meta look a little bit better. My concerns about Blue Eyes are, I guess, the same as the communities. A lot of people are like, oh, Blue Eyes is going to fail here. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Blue Eyes is going to slot in as a very strong rogue contender. You are going to have a lot of people out here that, and I've even read in my comment section, a few people like, I'm not picking up this Lordly Load garbage. It makes my Blue Eyes deck not good. And that's an opinion. It's really, really awful. And it's going to be the same thing out here with the people that took out a loan to pick up Dragon Master Magia. You're going to slowly start to realize that these cards are not as good as you were initially thinking they were. And I've done a lot of playtesting. I've played a good 40 hours of Blue Eyes. Just on, 10, 15 minutes every once in a while. You kind of get the chance to see what the deck's capable of, learn the combos, or, you just forget your drill beam because you're so tired. been very, 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 very guilty of that. Yeah, 40 hours of playtesting still doesn't help you remember drill beam. That's a sad thing. But to the people out here that are on the, I'm not going to pick up Lordly Loads, I'm going to play pure Blue Eyes and I'm going to do well. Good luck, Duelist. I truly wish you the absolute best. You can probably top a 2-man local every week and pass it off as, you're winning. And I'm sure that's the thing. Data has proven that the Primite build is the more consistent variation. Spending $800+ on Dragon Master Magia is crazy. And you're going to learn. I don't know why people are so afraid to look at data, man. I really don't know. Sure, you can form your own opinion on things like this, but it's just, it amazes me that people are just willing to just discount, all of this stuff just to be like, nope, I don't believe that. And they get 4-0 and they're like, I can't believe this, I built my deck perfect. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But that's where I am right now on everything. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in a rather interesting spot right now because of Supreme Darkness and the value being redistributed. Sure, but we will have to wait and see, because Blue Eyes is 2 weeks away. We'll see how Supreme Darkness holds up, for sure. But you also need to be aware that Blue Eyes is on the horizon, and Alliance Insight is already driving prices. If you refuse to even look at Alliance Insight right now, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised by Meowls over time. You've been warned.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.